What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Now, if you're new here, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell because you will not be disappointed. I can promise you that now, because we have formations, tactics, player roles, etc., will help you get those extra wins. That is a promise I can make to you guys. You will get those extra wins that you've been craving. So if you're stuck to get that, to go from 9 to 11, these formations will help you. And if you already subscribed, how you're doing, you know how this works by now. So we have the 4-2-2 in front of you, and we have some really nice players. Now we're going to go back to like an FC24 style with the 4-2-2, and what I mean by that is, but we're going to be using wingers predominantly in the cam position, so you can see what I'm talking about. So, Grealish, for example, he is an element or a left wing, so therefore he can play cam, and then you have Dembele. Now, this is the first time me using Dembele, so I haven't really used him that often, but I know he's got insane dribbling, and he's got a nice left foot as well. So, yeah, right wing RM. You can see where I'm going with this. So wingers in the cam positions, because I've tried cams in the wingers position and it's not quite where I need it to be. And your CDMs are whoever you decide to choose. It's not a massive deal. Obviously, being a United fan, I'm using Agate. I got SEN a little while ago, so he's a given. We had Van Dijk actually sent off, so that is why I have Campbell in there. Or I'm going to take Romero out actually and do it that way. Yep. So that is where we're at with the players situation. And yeah, you can see we're using Llorente. I mean, he's not a natural right back, he's an RM, but yeah, still using Llorente. And Benzema is an absolute beast of a card. So let's get into it before we jump into how this works and the gameplay. So what we're going to be doing is it's going to be a balanced build-up style, because you are going to be effectively playing it out. And what I'll show you a gameplay clip that actually kind of talks about the balanced build-up style, in the respect of, I come up against a guy that had the Mbappes and Schneiders. He had a really good team, 4-3-3, and yeah, he was, I don't know how, but it was a constant press he had on me, and I managed to work the ball around it. Didn't end up in a goal, but I worked it out from the back using the balanced build-up style and the aggressive defensive approach, which was pretty nice. I will include that. It just kind of shows that you can beat the press when people are on you like the way they are. So that is how we have it set up. Again, as always, I'll do the code at the end, because I'd like to explain how this works before people jumping on me saying it's too attacking, it's not attacking enough, it's too, so please bear that in mind. So let me drop in the gameplay, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what this looks like in the player roles and where they're all sitting in their respective positions. So this is a specific clip that I was referring to about how balance can actually help you get out of a sticky situation. So you can see from here, he's got the press on. Watch his press rather than my passing, and you will see he's got 4, 5, 6 players in my half, and I'm struggling to get the ball out, but we managed to get around it. So once you've lost the ball, it's the only time you can activate it. Bottom left of your screen, up on the D-pad, left on the D-pad. It activates the press, and what happens then is it's basically a man marking system. So there's some really good examples in here of how it works once I've activated the press. Now, once you've activated it, it is a man marking system. Look at the bottom of your screen. Look at my right back. He's really close to the left wing. And then he tucks inside, waiting for the ball, because we win the ball back, and then we go from there onto the attack. We hit Benzema, finesse shot, boom. It's 1-0. That is how simple it is. So if we go back to the manual press, so from here, example, the manual press up on the D-pad, left on the D-pad, it activates the manual press. We've already got the stoppers that are pressing anyway. You can see that everybody's spreading out, and then from here, the passing is so bad. But had that pass had been more accurate, we would have been through on goal. And then again, it's the same example here. You win the ball back after activating the press. Everybody's then making runs. You can see, just because it's a 4-2-2, because we're using those wingers in Cam's positions, they naturally take a wider position. And then from here, we hit Benzema again, and we're 2-0 up. And not only can my opponent not get a shot on goal, but he's getting really frustrated with this as well, because he's realised, no, I've got 6 defenders and 4 attackers, what am I going to do? And then with that one pass, his AI cannot pick up the run. And then from there, pitch on, she has a nice finish shot. And then again, 3-0. Honestly, it is that simple. So we have made a few alterations when it comes to player roles. Now we're using the left back and right back on wing backs. So you can see, if you click on them there, you can see that he will get up and down the pitch, but it's not a constant up and down the pitch. They kind of choose their moments, if you like. So it's not as aggressive, but it's aggressive enough. And then it's the same with the right back. You can see up and down the pitch, wing back on balance. Now we're using stoppers on our centre backs. Now the reason we're using stoppers is because it says right there, a ball-winning centre-back who will step forward from the defensive line to make tackles, intercept passes and lead the press. Now, what we're going to do with this formation, which if you'd watched the gameplay, I would have explained it to you guys. This is a high-pressing team, but you have to do it manually to get the press to work. But naturally, the two centre-backs will step up anyway. So you have to bear that in mind and see the gameplay, because you don't get caught over the top. However, you might get a 1-on-2, a 2-on-2, a 3-on-2 on the occasions. But again, we have quick enough defenders to cope with that. The two CDMs, we have them on the same, holding and roaming. Now, we want them on roaming because we don't want them stuck in that position. So, for example, we have them on roaming because we want them to move left and right. So if Mendy, for example, is bombing forward, Agate will cover the position, and the same with SN, he'll cover the right back position. So you want that cover, so you want to leave them on roaming. Now this is another interesting fact in this kind of setup. So we're using, as the cams, we're using them as half wingers and in attack. So what that effectively means, they will go to the left of each striker or the right of the striker, if that makes sense. You can see where it's highlighted green there, and then we'll do the other side is there. So effectively it's a 4 up front and then your 2 forwards. Benzema, his best position is a false 9. I'm not using a false 9, however I will do a formation specifically around Benzema at some point, but at the minute they're just both on advanced forwards because I want them to get forward. Now with the ball it looks like that, so it looks like a 2-4-4, and again it's highly attacking, but you have the 4 in midfield effectively. So when you have the left back and right back stepping forward, they are in midfield next to Agate and Essien in this respect. So that is pretty nice. You haven't got to worry about the midfield. You haven't got to worry about the balls over the top because my defenders are quick enough to keep up with any striker in the game, including that Mbappe that I just played against. So we haven't got to worry about that. And like I say, this is mainly for if you want to do the press. So this is good if you keep it in a slot, for example, so you can have it as you can use your 4-4-2 and then switch to a 4-2-2 if you want a higher press. Now, again, if you've watched the gameplay, I will explain how you do the press, how you do the manual press, and then that coupled with the manual press and the stopper press, you do suffocate your opponent. So that is pretty nice as well. So I hope that's all made sense. If you're not sure what I'm kind of talking about, go back and watch the gameplay, because the explanation in the gameplay is so much better as it's going live, if that makes sense. So definitely go and watch that. It's definitely worth watching that, should I say. And as always, we'll show you the code. The code is on your screen right there. I'll leave it on there for a few seconds so you guys can copy and paste it if that's what you want to do. But yeah, this 4-2-2 is incredibly good. I've used it in Rivals, I've used it in the Weekend League, I've used it in the qualifications as well. It's been part of my setup for a long time. Little adjustments because of the new update. So title update number 5, post patch 5. So yeah, we have to make a little adjustments, and that is it. The little adjustments have been made, and I absolutely love this formation, and it is here to stay, especially if I want to press my opponent and chase him for a goal. So bear that in mind. Hit that like button if you like what you see. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until the next video, everybody take care and look after themselves.